down and Aaron? See? We'll call the Board of Commissioners meeting for Tuesday, April 16th to order at 10:01, and all those who are able, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, do we have any public here for comment for items not appearing on today's agenda? No? We do have a lot of stuff on today's agenda. Do we have any additions to the agenda from the commissioners?
None that I'm aware of.
All right. And were the meeting minutes all right?
Good.
Okay.
I will move to approve the minutes from the meetings held April 9th.
I will second that.
We have a motion, a second, to approve the minutes from the meetings held April 9th. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. All right, you all set, Gary? All right, very good. We'll have Amy from the Center County Recycling and Refuse Authority talk about the hazardous waste collection event.
Good morning.
Morning.
Thank you for letting me come today. I have just a few events, free community events coming up that I wanted to share. Our first one is our annual Household Hazardous Waste Collection event. That'll be on April 26th and April 27th. It is the one time a year event where you can bring all those hazardous materials from your house to be properly disposed of. We currently have close to 900 already registered, which is amazing. So you have to go on our website, pick a time, then you just come right on in, drive through. We take everything out of your car, your truck. It goes to a place where it's properly disposed. So we really hope that people take advantage of that free event. And it is only once a year, so hopefully you can make it for that. And then on May 18th, this will be our second time doing this. We have a free tire collection. Some people do have tires at their house. They just don't know what to do with them. So on May 18th from 8 to 2, you can also sign up for that. Up to 12 tires, you can bring those in. We'll take those and we do recycle those. And then we have 2 shredding events this year, but June 1st is our first one. And then we have another one in October. So paper, you can bring it, it'll be shredded, important documents, things you don't want other people to have. And that's also free. So 4 free events this year for the community.
Well, that's wonderful, Amy. So on Friday the 26th and Saturday the 27th of April, you'll take pretty much anything except tires.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
The main things that we don't take are latex paint, batteries, motor oil, but we do take antifreeze. It's really hard to find places
Yeah.
to get rid of your antifreeze, so we added that. We will take antifreeze at that event. And yeah, no tires, but if you do have tires, we take those every day, but there's a charge. So if you really wanted to get rid of those and you couldn't come on that day, we take those for recycling every day. It's, I think, $85 a ton.
Okay.
So, but we do recycle those too. But yeah, might as well wait till May to get rid of those for free.
Might as well wait till free day.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Commissioner Concepcion, any questions on
Oh,
this?
sounds good.
Commissioner Dershowitz?
Well, motor oil, you obviously, there's lots of places that'll take
Yeah.
that. Batteries actually have value, so, they're not hard to get rid of. So it sounds to me like you got most of the bases covered for things that people might have laying around. But pesticides and herbicides and things like that people may have, that's all in the
Yeah,
all in the
usually,
mix.
yeah, you look in your garage, look in your shed. If you see, a lot of people call and say, I don't even know what's in here. That's usually what we want, right?
Yeah.
If you don't know what's in there, it's probably really bad. Bring it to us. We know what to do with it.
Right.
Better than, throwing it out and it going to the landfill and everything like that.
Absolutely. We appreciate you guys doing that, and
Yes.
it's a wonderful thing that you provide to citizens of our county to get rid of that and keep it out of the aquifers and the watershed. So thank you.
Yeah, sure. Well, thank you.
Great. Thanks, Amy. Any questions for Amy from the press?
Maybe household hazardous waste is open to folks outside of Center County?
It is. We usually get about a dozen from surrounding counties. And then those counties also allow our residents to go to theirs in case they couldn't come to ours. Tire collection, only Center County.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, good question. Any other questions? No? All right. Well, thanks again for coming, Amy. We appreciate your organization's efforts at the Center County Recycling and Refuse Authority to keep all the nastiness out of our garages and our sheds. So to Commissioner Gersham's point, it doesn't end up in our water.
Right.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you.
All right, now we'll move on to proclamation number 20 of 2024, proclaiming April 15th through the 19th as 911 Dispatchers Week in Center County. Obviously, a very important group of people, county employees, and Ramey is here with a couple of our dispatchers.
Good morning.
Morning.
Thank you for having us today to help talk about Dispatcher Week. I brought with me Kylie Bird, who's our training supervisor, and Brady Lewis, he's one of our new dispatcher trainees. This week is very special to us because it's a time that we get to honor and say thank you to those that answer the call every day. Center County 911 dispatchers handle everything from simple questions to life and death situations by providing comfort and assistance to strangers in their darkest moments. Even though they can't see what's happening, the dispatchers are the eyes and ears of every emergency responder on every emergency call. These amazing men and women keep our communications center running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. They excel in a role that is extremely difficult, highly stressful, and both intellectually and emotionally demanding. They give up holidays, family events, days off, and more to ensure that the citizens of Center County can get the help they need when they need it. Center County dispatchers are some of the hardest working and most resilient people you'll ever meet. In 2023, our dispatchers and supervisors handled over 130,000 phone calls, both emergency and non-emergency, and worked over 6,000 hours of overtime. Center County is very fortunate to have these 911 staff. Their dedication and service go without saying, and I'm extremely proud of the job that they do every single day. If anyone is looking to join our group, find a rewarding career where they can make a difference like our staff does, we do have vacancies. We have lots of information on our Facebook page, and we also have listings on the Center County website. So thank you again for having us here.
Great, thanks, Ramey. Would Haley, or was it
Kylie,
Kylie? Kylie, or, oh, I got the next one.
Brady.
Brady, have anything to add? All right. Well, we very much appreciate you coming. 911 dispatchers, critical job. Obviously, during an emergency, it's the voice people hear. It's the voice that connects them to services. They have to be very resourceful. Here in Center County, we have spent many, many, many millions of dollars. I know Steve goes way back on some of these capital expenditures, so that we have two different types of radio communication. We have every single address in the county mapped to within, is it roughly 10 feet, Ramey?
Yes, that would
Yeah.
be a good estimate.
Roughly 10 feet, including now finally every single building on the Penn State campus. And that was just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, that's a huge task.
Yes,
Huge task.
very huge. Busiest part of the county. So we would appreciate if anyone would like an exciting, fast-paced, pretty well-paying job where you need to be, 18 years old, clean criminal record, and preferably a high school diploma or a GED.
Yes.
And is willing to work very, very hard.
Very hard.
We're interested. Is that correct?
We're happy to have you, yes.
Great,
Yes.
great. Commissioner Concepcion, anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, thanks for being here. It's great to be able to recognize the really important work you all do. I think not everybody realizes that, the 911 center is right here in our building. And, it's staffed 24/7, no matter what else is going on in the world, even if there's major storms or, holidays are happening, we always have folks there to answer the call. And there's been some really heroic efforts by some of our dispatchers where they've been part of, really life-saving calls where they've been able to talk people through CPR and even childbirth
Yes.
Right, yeah.
step
We're
in
really
in
lucky
cases
with
of
the people that we
emergencies.
have. Yeah.
So thanks for being here.
Well, you folks are the link between the emergency and the responders that go to serve the problem. So when you're looking for people to join your team, what are the qualities, what are the characteristics, what are the strengths that somebody really should have to get involved? Now, I'll bring that to the folks that are out there doing it.
Multitasking is a huge thing. Be able to do multiple things at the same time. A lot of the younger generation here has been very well versed in that, growing up with technology. Being very familiar with technology is very helpful.
So so if somebody were to be interested in joining, what's the process? How long is the training? How long, I think I already know, but for the folks that maybe don't, talk a little bit about what it takes to become a full-fledged on-the-job dispatcher.
So our training program is 6 months. So it's going to be 6 weeks in the classroom. We have 4 weeks of mandatory APCO training. That's going to be 2 weeks up front, 2 weeks later during the process. And then it's going to be a mix of geography training and in-classroom training, just basics of call taking, questioning, that type of stuff, radio work. They go with a coach, and if that coach, they're attached to that coach, and they're with them through phones, police, fire and EMS, the entire way through. And then they'll do that, they'll go through a rotation on their own with supervision from a supervisor, they'll get signed off, and then they're good to go. You can get done earlier if they seem to excel in that aspect, but 6 months is around usually where they go.
How many professionals do you have working down there as telecommunicators?
11 right now.
11.
And how many would you like to have?
17.
So there's opening for 6
Yes.
folks out there that want to get involved in making a difference and saving lives. So that's important, and we appreciate everything you do. And I know it's a lot of hard work, and as Mark indicated, it's 24/7, 365 days a year that we have to man those, and it's a very important service that you provide. And it's our pleasure and our honor to proclaim the week as yours, and let you know that how much we appreciate the hard work that you all put in and the lives you save.
Thank you.
So,
Thanks. So yeah, for those at home, in Center County, it's $24 an hour. We currently have as many as 6 openings. And as Kaylee mentioned, it's about a 6-month paid training period. And then after that, there's a bit of job shadowing, and usually within about a year, you're flying solo, as I remember. And if you're outside of Center County, I've heard that pretty much every county in the state is looking for dispatchers. Everybody needs this service, and as Commissioner Concepcion mentioned, you help save lives, you help people, talk people through administering CPR. I know we've had several babies delivered partially over the phone pretty much every year. So it's an exciting job. You really help people. So thanks again for coming, and we'll get ready to vote here and then present the proclamation.
I'll move to adopt Proclamation 20 of 2024 proclaiming April 15th to 19th, 2024 as 911 Dispatcher Week in Center County.
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second to adopt proclamation number 20 proclaiming April 15th through 19th as 911 Dispatcher Week in Center County. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
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 Aye, opposed nay. Motion carries. Do we have any questions from the press on this? No? All right, well, come on up and we'll present the proclamation and take a photo.
You're the lead dog. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
It's JJ's first time.
You get to hold the proclamation, so you're like the one.
All right. Did you get all of our good slides, JJ? I think so. You take it with you.
Well, the cookies and gift this week, that's what we want to do.
All right.
Is there second? Well, okay, that's the celebration. Thank you all for coming in. Keep up the good work.
Yes. Thanks again to our 911 department for being part of a large group that helps keep us safe. And now we have a recognition. This does not happen very often, but I believe the Center County Criminal Justice Advisory Board and kind of the entire criminal justice court system just received some recognition from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and I'll hand it over to Carrie.
Thank you. So recently at the annual Pennsylvania Commission on Crime and Delinquency conference, just last week, with nearly 500 participants in attendance, Center County CJAB was awarded the 2024 CJAB Best Practices Award. This award recognizes the exemplary collaborative efforts and promotion of innovative strategies that support public safety for our citizens of Center County through the successful operation of criminal justice advisory boards, or as we call them, CJABs. So just a little background, PCCD started CJABs probably in the late 90s, and they made it mandatory sometime in mid-2000s. So Center County, CJAB has been in effect since 1999, so this is our 25th anniversary. We're very excited about that. But CJABs are top-level county officials who serve on the board, and they take a look at different issues that are affecting the criminal justice system and try to make improvements to help that. So they work collaboratively with state agencies and community groups, recommend best practices, and promote communication. So some of the members, for example, would be our district attorney's office, our courts, all of our commissioners, our chief public defender, our county administrator. We've got some local agencies like Center Safe and Center Peace. And we meet 6 times a year and review different initiatives. Some of the initiatives that have stemmed out of our CJAB over the years would be the HOPE initiative, the Heroin and Opioid Prevention Education Initiative in 2016. Our Reentry Coalition stemmed out of CJAB, as well as Stepping Up, CIT, some of our treatment courts, our current Humane Officer Project, and not to mention countless grants that have kind of stemmed out of CJAB. I would be remiss without mentioning that Jean Laurie was actually the Criminal Justice Planning Director back then in 1999 and was acted as the CJAB coordinator until I took over in 2018. And I did do a little research. Some people are not happy about this, but our longest standing member would be our Chief Public Defender, Dave Crowley. He's been there since the beginning. Kathy Arbogast is second since 2000, and Commissioner Dersham began in 2004. So those are our longest standing members. And Center County was awarded in 2016. We got honorable mention, so we got second place for this award. So I'm very excited that we are the winner this year. It was a very big surprise to all of us at the table, and they purposely did not tell us just to see our reaction, so that was wonderful. And, I used to work for PCCD, and the CJAB specialists who cover the area, the different counties, would make the recommendation, the nomination. So I used to nominate counties, including Center, when they won in 2016. So it's kind of great to be on the other side of this and see that our county can win. So it's a team effort. So Judge Marshall is our chair. I don't know if he wants to say anything.
Can we clap for Judge Marshall?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
It's these folks that do all the hard work, not me.
So we wanted to recognize that. And also, Jessica's going to do a shameless plug for something that Hope's going to be at.
Yeah, on Sunday, the Hope Initiative will be at the Out of the Darkness Walk on campus. Registration begins at 11 a.m. and the walk starts at 1, and it's at the Hub Lawn. And there's also going to be one in the fall for the county as well.
Very good.
Fantastic.
Is that the entire presentation?
Yes.
I noticed
Yes,
we have
and
people wrapping out in the hallway if anybody else wants to
I
speak.
invited other CJAB members to join us for the photograph because not everybody was in attendance at the conference. I
Yeah.
made everybody who was at the table go up, even if they didn't want to. So I invited other CJAB members like
Alright.
Tracy Small, Chief Smeltzer. There's
Yeah.
some others out in the hall. So
All right. Well, the commissioners are very proud. I think obviously a lot of the credit's going to go to the citizens of Center County for being very law-abiding and very concerned about their fellow citizens. But obviously, as a group, criminal justice is probably at least the third largest part of county government, if not larger. We have great judges, magisterial district judges. Cover for me, Carrie, in case I miss anybody here. But we have domestic relations, probation, public defender, district attorney, probably should have mentioned them a little earlier. We've got the sheriff, we have CIT training, we have all the various specialty courts. I think at this point we have upwards of 4 of them.
Yes.
Counting the kind of being formed right now Veterans Court. We have the correctional facility, we have the booking center, and we have a broad variety, probably dozens of different local nonprofits that we work with in this area.
Yes.
Did I miss a department?
Our local law enforcement.
Local law enforcement,
Always,
yes.
always send a representative, one of the chiefs,
Yes.
acts as a designee as well.
Great, well, I'll hand it over to Commissioner Concepcion.
Yeah, this is such an honor. Congratulations for all your good work. I think we've got such dedicated staff, including you, Carrie and Jessica, running that office and doing the strategic planning that's bringing all of these different pieces together. So really
Thank you.
Proud of the work you all are doing.
Thank you.
Thanks, Commissioner Dershowitz.
Well, Mark brushed on it, but one of the things that really has made one of the biggest differences, well, I consider 3 things that the CJAB has done that have been remarkable, and first would be central booking. That is a game changer for getting police back on the road, and that was an initiative from the CJAB. That's a collaboration between the county and virtually every law enforcement agency that serves Center County. So that's been a success. Particularly proud of the CIT program that I know, I think maybe Natalie Corman somewhere roaming around here, and she was very instrumental in getting that started. And Tracy, you've been an absolute gem to guide that program through its best moments. And Carrie, we've worked together on the Hope Initiative for so long. It seems like sometimes that's like the most important thing that we do. But we've seen some real differences there. And I think we had the opportunity last year to remark on the fact that we do have some of the lowest overdose statistics in the state. So
The lowest.
something is going right, and obviously that's being recognized. We're a leader in CIT. I think we've led the way in a few other things. It's just been fantastic, and the opportunity to serve with you all has been just an absolute pleasure. So thank you for all the great work and memories and the things we can all be proud of. So.
And we do have a number of other organizations that don't serve on the CJAB but are involved in criminal justice, like the Register of Wills and the Prothonotari's Office, and the jury commissioners.
Yes.
Didn't want to forget
Well,
those.
we also, there's a lot of other organizations that sit on the CJAB board that really make a difference as well through alternative sentencing opportunities. And there's
Yes.
a lot of things that occur
Yeah.
that really make a big difference, and there's a lot of good partners, and it's something we all. And I also have to throw a plug in for the leader of our band to begin with, which was Judge Brown. Judge Brown was the initial keeper of the keys, and he took the CJAB responsibility very seriously and guided it through its infancy, and I'm sure he's very proud to see where it's ended up. So 25 years later, it's still working.
Yes.
Thank you.
Any questions from the press on the award? No? Great. Well, again, want to congratulate the large team that makes criminal justice work well in Center County. And let's see, I don't think we actually have anything we vote on for this, so I'm assuming we just.
But we do have a plaque that we.
Bring the crew up,
Yes.
and
Yeah,
JJ pulls out the camera again, maybe stands a
have a
little further
plaque.
back this time.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, isn't it?
I'm sure you were very surprised. Renee.
I was very surprised.
Well done.
Coming over. See Senator Belfont. Doesn't the
Come on, Sheriff, get in here. We're not taking the picture till you get in. My God. That's how it works. That's how it works. You're
I was trying to hide out. They're like, I ran from Tracy.
Well, you can run, but you can't hide.
Yeah.
Good.
Come on, get up there close to Kathy. She doesn't bite or anything.
I did.
3, 2, fun. 3, 2, fun again. One more fun. All right.
Thanks, JJ. Thanks again.
There you go. Thanks, Kathy.
Congratulations.
Now that I see you outrank me in seniority,
Probably the only thing.
I don't know about that. You've been around. You know where all the skeletons are buried.
All right. Now, after that statewide award, we'll move on to a lot of contracts. We have Ramey here from 911 Emergency Communications with a contract with Penn State.
Good morning again. For your consideration today, I have a contract with Penn State University to provide mutual backup of emergency communications. Under this agreement, both parties would agree that their respective PSAP communication centers would temporarily provide emergency communication services for the other party and also provide space within each of their communications facilities for the other to operate until their normal services could be restored. There would be zero cost to the county with this agreement, as each party is going to be responsible for any costs associated under this agreement. Contract period would be from April 25th, 2024 to April 24th, 2029.
Great, thanks for covering that, Ramey. Obviously, very important for our cooperation with Penn State. Commissioner Concepcion, any questions?
No, it's mutually beneficial, I think.
Commissioner Dershowitz?
It's a great backup.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I'll move to add the contract with Penn State University to next week's consent agenda.
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second to add the contract with the Penn State University to next week's consent agenda. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Great, thank you very much,
Thank you.
Ramey. All right, now we have Don from Domestic Relations, one of a number of court departments, and looks like you've got a couple of contracts with lawyers.
Good morning. Yes, I'm here for two contracts. The contracts are actually identical. It's for 4D, they're 4D service contracts for attorneys for the Domestic Relations Office. These contracts run with the cooperative agreement currently in place. The rate of pay for the attorneys, both attorneys, the first being Jennifer Beerley, run is an amount of $125 an hour for their service. It is funded at 66% by the federal and 34% by the county. The second contract is for Abigail Jones, Esquire, and that's for a 4D private contract, and the rate is the same at $125 with federal funding at $82.50 and the county portion being $42.50. Basically, the nature of these contracts, we are required at Domestic Relations to provide service for plaintiffs who live outside of this area. They to have representation, like if a plaintiff lives in California and requests representation, these attorneys provide representation at court proceedings. Also, these attorneys present our contempt hearings that are in court every month. They also they also do the 72-hour bench warrant hearings that we have and present those to the court. They assist me with answering legal questions when they're implementing new rules of civil procedure or criminal case law. The need for these contracts exists because one of our current 4D solicitors is remitted a letter of resignation, so we'll be down one. Also, the amount of billable hours basically is consistent. They'll just be spread. We're asking to add an additional attorney, but it'll be spread across the amount won't change, but it'll be spread across 3 attorneys versus 1 currently. And then the issue of availability, just having 1 attorney available when we need a 72-hour hearing, it's just, if we can't make that mission accomplished, obviously we have to let that individual go. So this will help significantly with our department for availability of attorneys.
Great, well, thanks, Don, for making those arrangements and having some backup. Commissioner Concepcion, any questions?
Yeah, your explanation was helpful.
Commissioner Dershowitz?
It's all good.
All right, thank you.
I'll move to add the domestic relations items 1 and 2 to next week's consent agenda.
I will second that.
We have a motion to add the 2 items for domestic relations to next week's consent agenda. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Great. Thanks, Don.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Now, Chad has a contract renewal.
Yeah, good morning. This one is for the correctional facility, a contract renewal with a software called Jamf. This is used to manage the Apple devices that are used within the facility. It is a 1-year contract for $768.
Great, thanks, Chad. Any questions from either of the commissioners on that one? Good.
Okay, I'll move to add the contract with JAMF Software LLC to next week's consent agenda.
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second to add the contract with Jamf Software LLC to next week's consent agenda. All those in favor, do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, nay. Motion carries. Great, thanks,
Thank
Chad.
you.
Thanks, Chad.
And now Chris from Planning has
Oh, man.
a memorandum of understanding for a new phase for some additional housing, which is badly needed in the county.
We do. Thank you very much and good morning. Before I get into the short presentation, just want to remind everyone what the Memorandum of Understanding, or MOU, is for short. In this case, it's a three-party agreement, and it's between, in this case, Benner Township, the developer, and the county, whereby the developer agrees to reimburse Benner Township's engineer for the cost associated with the township engineers reviewing, processing, inspecting, and approving the engineering details. It's simply a contract for repayment of engineering costs. The commissioners aren't actually approving the development itself. It's just a contract for reimbursable costs. Now, the MOU that's being presented today is the revised preliminary and final land development plan for the Village of Nittany Glen Phase 3A, and it's located in Benner Township. The proposal represents the final phase of the Village of Nittany Glen community, showing an additional 24 residential units, which comprise 2 single-family and 22 duplex units, which are 11 duplex buildings. Now, just a visualization of where the property is located. Again, this is Benner Township, Fillmore Road, and then this is the State College Regional Airport. And if you come down Fillmore Road, this is Harvest Meadows that's under construction, and then this is the existing community of the Village of Nittany Glen. And the final phase is located in the northeastern part of the property, and it consists of about a 4.5 acre area that's being developed. And just to show these are all the existing phases that have been approved by the Center County Planning Commission. They've approved 319 total lots so far. 3A will constitute 24 for a grand total of 330 in the overall development. And the plan that was prepared by Pantera Engineering is showing an extension of the private street called Abercorn Street with the duplex units, and then there's the 2 single-family homes. And that's the MOU that's being presented today.
Great, well, thanks for covering that, Chris. I think we can see here that the density that's available by using duplexes, there's a lot of places in the county where you might have 1 dwelling unit on 4.5 acres. And here, we're going to have 24. So we appreciate the additional places for Center County residents to live. We've got a lot of people who really like to live here or move here. So appreciate all of your work on that. I think at our last meeting, we had some large developers compliment you on the
Thank you.
quality of your work and your professionalism. So just wanted to repeat that again publicly.
Thanks.
Commissioner Concepcion, any comments or questions?
no, looks good.
Mr. Dershowitz?
I think you and the planning office do an amazing job of bringing these projects to us and kind of keeping everybody up to date with the developments that are occurring within our county. And give your best, not only to you, you do a remarkable job, but to Ray and the rest of the staff up there that keep us on track. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Any questions from the press on the new housing development? No? All right.
Okay, then I will move to add the memorandum of understanding to next week's consent agenda.
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second to add the memorandum of understanding to next week's consent agenda. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thanks again, Chris. We
Thank you. Have a
appreciate
great
it.
day.
Thank you.
You too.
Keep up the good work.
All right, now we'll move on to an item for the magisterial district judge in Center Hall, and I believe John will be covering that.
Good morning, Commissioners. Before you for consideration is the approval of a contract with Vigilant Security to provide panic alarm monitoring for one of our MDJ offices. The equipment is already installed. The service had existed in the past and was discontinued for a period of time, and we're just looking to bring back that monitoring service. So before you for consideration is a contract total of $609 for the year for the period beginning April 16th of 24 through April 15th of 2025.
Great. Any questions from either commissioner on that one?
Seems like important to have in
All
place
right.
there.
True. Yes.
I'll move to add the contract with Vigilant, or actually, I'll move to approve the contract with Vigilant Security Incorporated.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the contract with Vigilant Security. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, nay. Motion carries. Now we're back to criminal justice planning, and Carrie has some program funds that I think we'll do a lot of good things with, and Ryan's joining her.
Yes. I'm here to request the board's permission to submit a grant application to the Pennsylvania Commission on Crime and Delinquency for the 2024-2025 Intermediate Punishment Treatment Program funds. This is an annual grant that we've been getting for decades. We use these funds to support the intermediate punishment program, the DUI treatment court, and the drug treatment court. So our allocation is $130,000. Of that allocation, we can only spend a portion of it on what they define as treatment versus non-treatment. And so it's about half. So partial salaries of 4 staff are covered, 2 with the probation department and 2 in our drug and alcohol department, including partial benefits. And then drug and alcohol treatment services, so outpatient, inpatient, intensive outpatient, all the different options. However, these funds are payer of last resort. So Kathy's office leverages medical assistance dollars, and we track that and report on that when we do our quarterly reports. And then those that aren't covered by that, we utilize these grant funds. We also utilize it for drug testing, which is extremely important for this population in our treatment courts to be drug tested regularly, and those costs have increased over the years. The RANT assessment tool, Reconnect, which is basically like a call to test service, our CAM, which is continual alcohol monitoring, so the bracelet, and then drug confirmation test. So these are state dollars, not federal dollars, and will run through June 30th of 2025. We've been fortunate the past couple of years that we can, at a halfway mark, we can request additional dollars if we feel we have a need. So this year that we're currently in, we were awarded an additional $18,000. Last year was $15,000. It would be nice if they would just bump our allotment up, but that hasn't happened yet. The allotments have kind of been the way they have been for many, many years. We're hoping that they maybe take a look at that and consider revising those because we can use additional funding. So, yeah.
Thanks, Carrie. Anything else you'd like to add, Ryan?
She covered everything. This grant itself really helps assist our department in being able to run the treatment courts and service the population that are high risk, high need. So these funds really help us out and help them pay for the drug testing, like she mentioned, and our staff salaries. So.
Good. Great, thanks. I know we have at least one person here who works for a state legislator, so we very much appreciate the funding. And as you notice, it is very much of a team effort to spend these funds as effectively as possible to help the citizens of Center County in a broad variety of measures. Commissioner Concepcion, anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, just, I take your point about that it'd be helpful if these were increased a bit over time, since the cost of running these programs goes up over time, so.
Yeah, we've definitely seen increases in some of our line items over the years. And unfortunately, we need the grant dollars to go up as well.
Yeah.
Commissioner Dershowitz?
It's all good program. Thank you.
Great, thanks. Any questions from the press on this one? Nope. All right, we'll take a motion then.
I will move to approve the grant application for the Intermediate Punishment Treatment Program funds for 24-25.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve the grant applications for the Intermediate Punishment Treatment Program funds for the fiscal year 24-25. All those in favor do so by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Great. Thank you very much, Brian and Carrie.
Thanks, Ryan. Hey, thank you. Thanks, Carrie.
All right, now we'll move on to 2 items for information technology, and Chad will cover that.
Hello. First item is a contract with CDWG for a new firewall appliance. Our current one is going to reach end of life later this year, so I want to get a new one in place. It also includes 1 year of a support license with that. The contract total for that one is $82,820. And the next contract is a contract addendum we have with Teleosoft, which is a software that our Pathonetary and Sheriff's Office use. This is to complete a server migration for the county suite application. This is a one-time statement of work. It's expected to take 1 to 2 hours. The first hour is at no cost, and then each additional hour is going to be $250 an hour. So this is a not to exceed $1,000. There's really not a contract link. It should be done within the next couple of months. So.
Okay, great. All right, well, thanks for covering those, Chad, and obviously, we need to take whatever it costs to keep the bad guys out, because there have been a lot of hacking incidents, not just nationally, but specifically to counties and local municipalities.
Yep.
Yeah. Commissioner Concepcion, any questions? Commissioner Dershowitz?
Glad somebody understands all this and keeps track of it. Thank you, Chad,
Yeah.
for that. It's very complicated. So
Happy to do
thanks
it.
for keeping those bad folks off our systems.
Yeah.
Yep. Then I'll move to add the information technology services items 1 and 2 to next week's consent agenda.
I will second it.
We have motion and second to add the 2 items for information technology services to next week's consent agenda. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Great. Thank you, Chad.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, and now Kristen from Human Resources also has a contract.
Yes, I'm requesting approval of a contract with Phoenix Physical Therapy to provide post-offer employment fit-for-duty tests for our employees. This would involve them coming and doing job analysis on specific jobs in the county, and then us doing post-offer pre-employment fit-for-duty testing on them to make sure that they are able to do the job. It helps with lowering workers' comp costs. It helps with us making sure there's not injuries of our employees, that the jobs can be done safely. They will charge the contract $120 for the job analysis, develop the test, and then anywhere from $75 to $100 per test, depending on if it's someone's returning to work from an injury and we want to have them tested to make sure we feel they are fit for it. We are piloting this with our facilities and records to start with, and then we may move on to include other departments. So we're trying it first with them, and then you'll be seeing a policy on it coming as well in the future if everything goes well. So we have estimated the cost to be not to exceed $3,000. It is a 1-year contract, but we kind of highballed depending on how many tests we'd be having based on hiring for the year.
So this is something of a prototype, and it sounds like our insurance company is very much in favor of the.
Yes, very much.
All right. Commissioner Concepcion, any questions?
Looks good.
Commissioner Dershowitz?
It's all good.
All right.
Then I'll move to add, or approve the contract with Phoenix Physical Therapy pending final solicitor review.
Second.
We have motion and second to approve the contract with Phoenix Physical Therapy pending final solicitor review. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Great. Thanks,
Thank you.
Kristen. And now Quentin has 2 separate contracts for us.
Okay, so my first thing, I'm requesting consideration for approval for the Center County Office of Aging 4-year plan. Our 4-year plan is required by the Administration of Community Living, which is the federal government. And to create our plan, we considered what ACL wanted, and also the Pennsylvania Department of Aging has a 10-year plan called Aging My Way. And then also to come up with the needs of our 4-year plan, we did a survey and also had a public listening session where we gathered information about needs. Our 4-year plan, as far as some of the information on it, is on nutrition education, improving communication with older adults, improving caregiver support, reaching underserved populations of older adults, and assisting with navigation on housing and transportation. Our 4-year plan would run from October 1st, 2024 through September 30th, 2028.
Great. Well, thank you for explaining that, Quentin, and thank you for the, I think it was about an hour-long informational meeting for the commissioners on that topic. Some of the census and demographic numbers are shocking. The population increase of seniors in Center County is going to be incredible, especially in the super senior 85-year plus category.
And I think that's why it's really important to be able to assist older people in navigating the resources available, and that is a big focus of our plan for the next 4 years.
Right. Commissioner Concepcion, any questions?
Yeah, no questions. Just to note that it's really a critical county department in terms of supporting families of those with aging relatives and making sure they have the support that they need to be able to take care of their family members.
Mr. Dershowitz?
Just important programs, and looking after that demographic is incredibly important, particularly that's very vulnerable. Some of our most vulnerable folks in the county. I appreciate you tending to that, so thank you.
And we do appreciate the state funding in that very critical area. Unless there's any questions from the press?
Do you have any ballpark figures how much that increase is for older populations?
Well, one I do remember, by 2050, I think the number of seniors in Center County 85 and older will more than double from roughly, was it roughly 3,000 to 6,000 citizens?
Yep, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah,
Yep.
and the age increases for the slightly younger seniors, while not a doubling, was still very large.
So the actual increase in 16 above is above the average increase that you're going to have across the state. So we're actually increasing, getting older faster than the average of everybody else in Pennsylvania.
Although I think that's due in part to people who live elsewhere in the country who
It's
are
a, it's a,
moving
ve-
here
it's a
or
really
moving
nice,
back here.
really nice county to live, and I know a lot of
Yeah.
people come back here as well, and a lot of people don't leave like they do other counties.
True.
So-
I
Yes.
don't know if I like the term getting older faster. I think we need to rephrase
Yeah,
that. That's
slow
not-
that one down a little bit.
Yeah, we need
Yeah.
to slow that process down.
And actually, there's a positive aspect to this, that life expectancy in our county is high.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
kind of a double edge because people are living longer. However, people over 85 tend to have higher rates of neurocognitive disorder, dementia, Alzheimer's, and they also a lot of times are the ones that need more care. So again, like you said, Commissioner Higgins, we do appreciate the state funding because we're going to need it.
Yeah, we are the youngest county in the state by average age, but we also have some of the, what would you say, oldest average age of passing in the state as well. So it was a great question, Gary. Any other questions from the press? No? All right, we'll take a vote on this one item.
Then I'll move to approve the 4-year plan for the Center County Office of Aging.
I will second it.
We have a motion and a second to approve the 4-year plan for the Center County Office of Aging. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. And then you have a second one for us, Glenn.
So we're requesting an addendum to our cleaning contract of the Bellefonte Senior Center. Carol Froelich has been cleaning the senior center for a while, and with the extension of us going into Centercrest down the road, she's agreed to continue to clean. She had asked to decrease her hours to 2.5 hours per week instead of 5. So we're adjusting the contract, and we're going to absorb some of her duties with the senior center manager. And then she has committed to continue to clean until we move.
All right. Glad you covered that, because I know it still needed to be clean. I just know it would pick up the extra.
Yeah, she would also help set up for the next day, and the senior center manager is going to assist on that
All right.
more so that we can accommodate her request.
Okay. Commissioner Concepcion, questions? Commissioner Dershowitz?
Thank you.
All right.
I'll move to add the contract addendum with Carol Froelich to next week's consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to add the contract addendum with Carol Froelich to next week's consent agenda. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
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 Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Great. Thanks, Quentin.
Thank you.
All right. And then Kathy, whose name has come up several times, has a grant submission for the mental health department.
Good morning.
Morning.
Hi, Kathy.
We have for you today, we ask that you approve the grant submission to the Office of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services for our first episode psychosis program. This grant submission would provide funding for the treatment and treatment-related needs of young adults who are experiencing psychosis for the first time through a coordinated specialty care format. The grant total is $185,184.17. It's 100% state funding and would be for the time period July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025. This is our 6th application to the state, with the first individual being admitted to the program in December of 2020. It is a two-step program. Individuals come into the first episode psychosis or FEP program initially, and then there's a stepped care or a step down portion to the program once they are stabilized and doing well in the program. Coordinated specialty care involves the more medical or mental health aspects of the program. That includes a PCP, a therapist, medication management, group sessions, family therapy. But then there are also the treatment-related needs, which might involve education, skill building, employment, case management, as well as peer specialist, which is an individual with lived experience who can support the individual and help them to manage the chronic disease that they've come to have. It is a very specialized program with very specific training requirements, and our partner in this program is Oasis Life Care, and they are very committed to supporting us. We have about 8 to 10 people in the program at any one time, and we're hoping to expand that over the next year to about 15 individuals being served. So we're very excited that OMSAS continues to support us with this program. Individuals who have medical assistance, we can tap that as an additional benefit, but otherwise the grant covers the expenses for this program.
Great, thanks for covering that, Kathy. It's a very difficult and scary time for these young adults who have a sudden onset of mental illness, and we do appreciate the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania funding this program to help people put their lives back together again and move forward, in many cases, to becoming productive citizens.
Very much so.
Commissioner Concepcion, any questions?
No questions, but just, noting that, the importance of getting this kind of coordinated care, right at the outset is, I'm sure, really critical for people to being able to
Very much
stay
so.
on track. So,
Thank you.
Commissioner Dershowitz?
No, thank you for that. It goes back to our conversation about CIT and some of the other, making sure that people that are in crisis get the care that they need, and this is one of those opportunities to get those people help, so fantastic.
Great, thanks, Dave. I have a question, anyone from the press?
Kathy, following last report on population demographics in Center County, does the fact the population is getting older put more demand on mental health services, or are there other factors involved?
There's certainly other factors involved, but it's something that we look at across the spectrum. And certainly as we look at older adults, we have to make those distinctions between dementia and mental health. Not that older adults can't have a mental illness, but it does become more challenging as we try to sort out what the underlying cause is and getting people the exact help and supports that they need.
Great, thanks for that question, Gary. All right, unless there's anything else, I think we could take a motion.
I'll move to approve the grant submission for the first episode psychosis program.
Second.
We have a motion, a second, to approve the grant submission for the first episode psychosis program. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed nay. Motion carries. Thank you very much, Kathy.
Thank you.
We have a fairly short consent agenda.
I'll move to approve this week's consent agenda.
I will second
We
that.
have a motion, a second, to approve this week's consent agenda. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. All right, now we have a letter of support for the Central Intermediate Unit 10, and I believe Francine, is it Endler? Yes. Is here from the intermediate unit to explain what the grant would be for.
Thank you very much for an opportunity to address the commissioners this morning. I am proud to be the Executive Director of Central Intermediate Unit 10, which is one of 29 intermediate units in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. IU10 covers Center, Clinton, and Clearfield counties. We represent, work with 12 school districts, 4 career and technology centers, 4 charter schools, and we provide services to children from birth through adult learners because we also have an adult education program. In February of 2021, our main administrative offices, which were located in West Decatur, Pennsylvania, formerly known as the Saddle Club, for the folks in that region, suffered a major roof collapse. At that time, and we have since sold that building and we are in the process of looking to build a new facility. We bought the property located at North 6th Street in Phillipsburg Borough, where the junior high school used to be. So we do own that property. The junior high school itself has been raised. There is a small gymnasium that remains on the site, and we do have conceptual plans for a 2-story office building there. And so right now we are in the process of seeking some additional funding. Unlike a school district, an intermediate unit cannot levy taxes, so our opportunities to fund projects are a bit different. I was here seeking a letter of support for the application to the DCED COVID-19 ARPA Multi-Purpose Facilities Grant. I think it's the longest name of a grant application out there. And that grant will help to cover the site work for that facility, and we also have submitted a grant for the RCAP, through the RCAP grant for funding as well. So we are hopeful that these funding streams will align for us and that we'll be able to proceed.
Well, that's wonderful, Francine. Great to hear. I know somebody who lives in that neighborhood. And we're seeing a lot more people take interest in Phillipsburg, some growth happening there, young people moving to the community, now a medium-sized employer moving their operations to the borough of Phillipsburg. I would think we'd probably support it, but let me turn over to Commissioner Concepcion for comments.
Yeah, I think this was really going to be kind of a shot in the arm for some of the downtown Phillipsburg businesses to be able to have all the staff members from the IU being located so close to the downtown area in Phillipsburg could be really good in terms of economic development there. For anyone who doesn't know, intermediate units are governed by a board comprised of the school board members of all the participating school boards. So it is, it's a sort of a semi-public kind of entity in that sense because it is governed by elected officials. So.
We also have an office here in Center County. We're at 1155 Benner Pike.
Yep.
I have an office also in Lock Haven because I have folks that are cover a 3-county region. So.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Commissioner Dershowitz?
It's all good. Happy to support it.
Steph, any questions from the press on that one? No? All right.
And I know this has been a long road
Yeah,
with this
long
facility
meeting.
issue, so
Yes.
hopefully something moves along here for you. So
Thank you very much.
then I'll move to approve the letter of support for the Central Intermediate Unit 10.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the letter of support for the Central Intermediate Unit 10. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Great. Thank you very much, Francine. Appreciate that. All right. Now we have a request for a letter of support from Clearwater Conservancy. And I think, is it Ford is here? And was Danant coming, or maybe not able to make it today? If you'd explain the
No, you're stuck with
application.
me, Don.
Oh, that's all right.
Couldn't make it. Yeah, hi, good morning. My name is Ford Stryker. I volunteer with Clearwater Conservancy, and the Conservancy is currently located in kind of a small building that's not in a great location. And what they've been able to do is purchase some property along Spring Creek. It's an old farm. It's about 10 acres. And what they'd like to do is, on that property, sort of rebuild the barn and turn it into a meeting space, a community conservation center where they can hold meetings, where they can work with the public, where they can encourage people to come in and use the facility. And so Clearwater has 3 major missions. One is land conservation, secondly is stream restoration, and third is environmental outreach. And they'll use this facility, I think, to be able to grow their organization, because right now they're space constrained, and they really want to do more work in this area to really help focus on Center County, but also the surrounding counties, to try to improve the environmental conditions there. And I guess I didn't fully appreciate this until we got looking into these Appalachian Regional Commission grants that are focused on economic development. But some of the work Clearwater does actually does have an economic development impact, because it creates opportunities for ecotourism and tourism and agribusinesses through some of the work they do through conservation. I'll cite 2 quick examples. So about 10 years ago, they purchased the land from a private landowner that was from Musser Gap, which is an important
Yes.
watershed in the State College area. And I think at the time, they were mostly focused on trying to preserve the land to protect the water supply for State College. But after they conserved this land, they transferred it to DCNR, became part of Rothrock. DCNR was able to build a trail there. Then working with Penn State, Clearwater was able to build a bike trail from State College Borough really to that Musser Gap property and then up into Rothrock. And then most recently, working with the Rothrock Trails Alliance, they were able to open that up to another 50-some acres of trails that you may have seen in the paper. So that's sort of an example of how their work really benefits, I think, the ecotourism of the area and the region. So anyway, there's this opportunity through the Appalachian Regional Commission to provide construction funding for the project. And, Clearwater is asking you to, if you would, submit a letter of support for that. I also, while I'm here, I want to take the opportunity to thank you for the letter of support you submitted for the RACP grant. Unfortunately, I couldn't make that because of the snowstorm, but I do appreciate you taking the time to submit that letter. So I'd be happy to address any questions anybody has.
Okay, Ford, thanks for presenting. Obviously, Clearwater's been doing tremendous work in Seneca County here for several decades. And I know, since we do have a federal legislative staffer in the room, the Appalachian Regional Commission grants over the last 8 years or so have done great things for Center County. Two I can think of off the top of my head was it provided the match money to create the Rivet makerspace, which is now tremendously popular with all ages in Center County. And it also, another Appalachian Regional Commission grant ended up funding about half of the very high-end prototype space called Origin Labs at the new entrepreneurship building for Penn State. So these grants have been doing some fabulous work here in Center County, and in my opinion, I think it'd be great if we won this one as well. Commissioner Concepcion, any questions or comments?
Yeah, so I think all the commissioners have had opportunities to get out and see the new property that we acquired there, and it's really a nice location. And that barn is kind of a lovely historic barn. To be able to see that restored, it's really seems like a great location for the kind of work that you're doing. And then seeing that it's a place where people can come and actually see the kind of stream restoration efforts in action right on that location. So it's a good place for education and meeting space, and yeah, we really appreciate all the many different conservation projects that your group does throughout Center County.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Dershowitz.
Yeah, Clearwater's been involved in so many good projects for literally decades that look forward to supporting this as well. And I think your mission will be definitely appreciated by a lot of folks in our community, and it might be a great place for folks from outside the area to come and experience what we have here environmentally in Center County.
All right, one of the elements of the project, it's not a huge amount of space, but we're creating an information center sort of at the front. So people, if they come to this site, will be able to get information about opportunities. We're connected with the Happy Valley Adventure Bureau too, to try to, integrate, some of the things they're doing with what Clearwater's doing as well. I mean, the other advantage of this particular location is I like to fish, and so we're going to have an accessible trail down to the stream, which is one of the, in that reach of, stream, there's not a lot of opportunities to get easy access to the stream. So that'll be another important aspect of the project. So, yeah, it's, I think, a really good project. So thank you for your good comments.
Wonderful. Any questions from the press on this? No? As Commissioner Concepcion mentioned, it's a nice barn. It's a great location, partway between the campus and the mall, in a beautiful kind of little nook that I don't even know if a lot of people know is there.
Right.
Yet, as we mentioned, you've got everything there. You've got a stream, you've got the restorations, you have the fields, you have the ability for a very convenient way for people to commune with nature. So, unless there's anything else, I think we can take a motion.
I'll move to approve the letter of support for Clearwater Conservancy.
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve the letter of support for the Clearwater Conservancy. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Great. Thank you very much for it.
Okay, well, thank you for your support. It's really appreciated.
You're welcome. We'll move on to average size check run. Commissioner Concepcion?
Sure. The check run that I'm going to highlight in this week's check run is for the Center County Federation of Public Libraries. Center County is one of the entities that helps support that organization that serves communities throughout Center County. With that, I will move to approve the check run dated April 12th, 2024.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the check run dated April 12th. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. John, do we have an administrator's report?
Nothing to report at this
All
time.
right. Now I think back to Commissioner Concepcion for a voters registration report.
Okay, so this week, the total number of registered voters is up 121 for a total of 101,164 registered voters. Of those, 42,366 are Democratic, 141 Green Party, 601 Libertarian, 13,948 with no affiliation, and 41,085 Republican registered voters. All of the other minor parties comprise 3,023 to make up that total this week of 101,164. We always highlight a party of the week, and this time I'm going to highlight the Decline to State Party, which has one registered voter. I'm not sure if they intended to be not affiliated. Then moving on to the precinct of the week, we have Precinct 52, Ferguson West. They vote at Fairbrook United Methodist Church at 4201 West Whitehall Road in Pennsylvania Furnace. They have 1,231 registered voters. In the last election, 703 ballots were cast for a voter turnout of 57%, which is pretty great for a municipal election year. And that's the voter report.
Thank you, Commissioner Concepcion. We have two announcements. Today, April 16th at 5 p.m. is the deadline to request an absentee or mail-in ballot. And we do remind citizens that the drop boxes for mail-in ballots will close on Monday morning. Help me out here, Amber, is it 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock?
So 9, yeah, get it in by 9.
Get it in by 9, just to be sure. The Board of Commissioners meeting on Tuesday, April 23rd has been canceled due to the general primary election. John, do we have any executive sessions to report or hold?
No executive sessions to report or hold.
All right. And our public meeting schedule on Thursday, Combined Salary Board and Commissioners meeting at 10. Next week, Tuesday, the 23rd, is the general election. The Commissioners will have a Board of Elections meeting at 6 a.m. Polls will open at 7. Polls will close promptly at 8 o'clock. But if you are in line, stay in line, and you will be allowed to vote. Tuesday, April 25th, another Combined Salary Board and Commissioners meeting at 10. And then we start Board of Elections meetings every day, every other day for upwards of 2 weeks. We have one at 2 p.m. on Thursday, the 25th. And then we have another one scheduled for Friday morning, April 26th at 10 a.m. Any questions from the press?
John, I remain the designated reporter for the courthouse retaining wall construction. At one point, there was some talk of maybe moving some offices in the courthouse. Is that still in the game plan, or does not look like it's going to happen?
There's been no further discussion about moving any of the offices out of the building. What we've been trying to do is limit the impacts of sound and disruption by having certain activities occur on the opposite side inside the courthouse as to opposed where the activity is, the construction activity.
Does the project remain on schedule?
I have heard of no major time delays, so we are still on track.
Thank you.
Thanks. Any other questions? No? All right, we'll take a motion to adjourn then.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion to adjourn and a second at 11:09. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed nay, motion carries. We are adjourned. I think we had a meeting at 11, but it's next one.
Yeah.